Remember the scene where Elle Woods walks into Harvard for the first time, all in pink? The looks start. You can almost feel them thinking, she doesn't belong here. And yet, she sits down anyway. That moment is the Elle Woods mindset. It's about self-belief, self-respect, and refusing to shrink to make others comfortable. But before confidence, there's the question of how you let people treat you. Elle doesn't beg Warner to see her worth. When he underestimates her, she doesn't chase harder. She keeps evolving. Notice how she shows up. She dresses well, even when there's no audience, no approval, no one to impress. Yeah, remember when she studied while working out? She really doesn't care who's watching and who's not. That alone says so much. She doesn't wait for a special occasion to feel worthy. She decides she is. And the way she talks to herself? Kind, encouraging, never self-degrading. That inner dialogue matters more than we think. Elle also expects respect, but not in a loud, demanding, or aggressive way. And that's such an important distinction. Self-respect is about being clear. Clear about what you deserve, what you tolerate, and what you walk away from. Now, let's be real for a second. So many of us accept the bare minimum because we're scared of being alone, misunderstood, or labeled too much. We stay in situations where we're not valued, hoping that if we just try harder, someone will finally see us. But Elle wouldn't do that. Not because she thinks she's better than anyone, but because she knows she deserves better. But standards only stick when they come from within. Because if you don't believe in yourself first, you'll keep waiting for someone else to do it for you. One of the most powerful things about Elle is that she believes in herself even when the room doesn't. And yet, she still shows up. She walks into spaces that weren't designed with her in mind and claims her seat anyway. Elle doesn't wait to be chosen as smart enough, capable enough, or worthy enough. And that's such a big lesson for us, because so many of us are stuck waiting for someone to tell us we're allowed to go after what we want. But readiness is a myth. In real life, self-doubt shows up quietly. It sounds like, maybe I'm not good enough yet, or I'll start once I know more, or what if people laugh? And they actually might. Elle gets laughed at too. Like, remember when everyone thought she was just a dumb blonde? Just because she wore pink and was a little too girly? But she doesn't let that stop her from trying. She understands that being seen is part of becoming. You don't need everyone to believe in you, you just need to do you. And once you stop waiting for permission, you stop chasing approval, and you start redefining what success and confidence actually mean to you. Throughout the movie, Elle's definition of success evolves, and that's what makes her story so real. She doesn't start law school because she has everything figured out. She starts for love, for the hope of being chosen. And honestly, that's okay. So many of us begin our journeys with external motivation. We chase degrees, careers, or glow-ups to prove something to someone. There's no shame in that starting point, but what matters is where she ends. Elle doesn't finish law school for Warner. She finishes for herself. Somewhere along the way, her motivation shifts. What began as a need for approval turns into genuine self-respect. She realizes she doesn't need to prove she belongs, she already does. And that internal shift? That's growth. But none of that works if you're still trying to be someone else. Which brings us to the foundation of the Elle mindset. Elle never apologizes for who she is, and that is exactly why she's powerful. She doesn't wake up one day and decide to become less pink, less feminine, or less romantic just so people will finally take her seriously. She never hides it. She walks into rooms exactly as she is. Now compare that to how girls are usually taught to move through the world. Somewhere along the way, femininity got framed as something embarrassing, something that needs to be justified. Think about that scene where Elle walks into Harvard in head-to-toe pink, carrying her little handbag while everyone else is dressed in black and gray. She doesn't blend in, she stands out. She could have toned herself down and tried to fit in, but she didn't. And that's the whole point. And here's what people get wrong about self-acceptance. Loving who you are doesn't mean you stop growing. For Elle, it actually fuels her discipline. One of the most underrated parts of Elle's mindset is how hard she works without ever losing her softness. She takes herself seriously, even when no one else does, and yet she never turns cold, bitter, or closed off in the process. That balance, that's power. There's this myth we've been fed that ambition has to look harsh. To be taken seriously, especially as a woman, you have to harden yourself. But Elle proves that's not true. She's disciplined without being cruel, focused without being rigid, confident without being arrogant. She doesn't dim her empathy to sharpen her intellect. What makes Elle stand out isn't just her work ethic. It's her emotional intelligence. She understands that being kind doesn't make you weak, and being soft doesn't mean you lack backbone. In fact, her softness becomes her advantage. It allows her to read rooms, understand people, and approach challenges with grace instead of ego. You can be gentle and powerful at the same time, but discipline alone won't protect you from heartbreak. Life will still disappoint you. People will still walk away, and that's where resilience comes in. Elle doesn't let rejection turn into her entire personality. Yes, Warner rejecting her hurts. Of course it does. She loved him, but his rejection doesn't shatter her sense of self. It doesn't make her question her worth or rewrite who she is at the core. It hurts her heart, not her identity, and that distinction changes everything. And that emotional maturity is what sets Elle apart. And let's be clear, she does feel. She probably had ice cream nights and emotional spirals where everything feels unfair and overwhelming. And that's normal. However, she keeps moving, even when it's uncomfortable, even when she's scared. And that's something we all need to hear. You're allowed to grieve what you lost, but you're not required to stay stuck in it. Sometimes the universe says no because it has better taste than you do at that moment. If someone doesn't choose you, that's information, not a verdict. And once you survive rejection, you stop seeing others as threats. That's when real sisterhood begins. One of the softest yet strongest parts of the Elle Woods mindset is that she doesn't see other women as competition. She sees them as allies. Look at how she treats Paulette. She uplifts her, encourages her, helps her see her own beauty and worth, without expecting anything in return. There's no jealousy, no comparison, no weird power play. Just genuine support. And that's such a green flag. Now, let's contrast that with what a lot of us were conditioned to feel growing up as girls. We are conditioned to internalize competition, constantly compare, and have quiet jealousy. We believe that another girl's success somehow takes away from ours. Like there's only limited space to be smart, pretty, successful, or loved. But that mindset keeps us small and disconnected. Elle shows us a different way. Secure women don't compete, they collaborate. They cheer each other on, they share opportunities, they hold space for each other's growth. And the truth is, when women support women, everyone levels up. And finally, when you stop competing, stop seeking approval, and stop shrinking, your definition of success changes too. It stops being about proving something and starts being about alignment. Elle stops chasing applause and starts chasing alignment. And that's the ultimate glow-up truth. Success isn't about proving people wrong, it's about proving yourself right. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments, and still don't feel confident enough? Make sure to check out the Coco Chanel mindset right here.